Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from a throwaway account from the Relationship Advice subreddit. And just coming back in after this one, after I read the story, I absolutely butchered one of the names in this. Although OP seems to use a couple of different spellings for the name in itself anyway, but I know I got the name wrong. I do apologize. But the story starts off. Friend 31 female upset after I 27 female asked her to leave when I was in labor / about to give birth. How do I solve this? Hi everyone. Hope it's okay to post this. I'm part of a friend group of 8 women. Ages 26 to 31. I'm the second person to have a baby. They mean the world to me, especially since I have no relatives left. We all get along great, though I'm particularly close with Jess, who I've known since high school and even lived with for a bit. This mostly revolves around the day I gave birth. But I guess it started a few months before. All of them were doing so much effort for me and I couldn't be more grateful. Our friend Eliza from now on kept getting more and more involved though, sometimes making me feel a bit uncomfortable. Had to ask her a few times to stop touching my bump and she'd get sad. She's joked about wanting to be there for when the baby was born, how magical it is. It wasn't. Lots of questions. At some point she asked if she could join me and my partner for a checkup because she really wanted to be a part of it. I said no and asked her to kindly take a bit of a step back. That her excitement was sweet, but a little too much for us. She did apologize though, was upset. I asked her why she wants to be involved so strongly. She didn't really give an answer. She said she loved me and the baby, and that Jess got to be a part of this a lot more, which is true. After, she was silent for a bit, but things went back to normal. The last weeks before my due date, she came around almost daily, but I didn't want to be ungrateful. Plus, I was bored at home. It all came often, which I appreciated loads. The day I went into labor, I was with my partner. I messaged Eliza that she didn't have to come, just that I'd tell her when we left the hospital, and the group something along the lines of, "This is it, we'll keep you all posted." Eliza still showed up and apologized, saying she didn't see the messages. She asked to stay for a bit because of the long drive. At some point we decided to go to the hospital though. Eliza said it was too early. Could be true, she's a nurse, but I was feeling in pain and anxious and really just wanted to be there. Here's where it got intense, I guess. She just kind of started acting like she was coming with us. My partner, bless her, told her we got it from here, thanked her for all she did, but that she could go home now. Eliza replied something along the lines of it was no trouble, she'd love to be there for us and let's go. Still intent on coming with us. It wasn't even a question. Again, my partner now flat out told her would prefer it if she went home, but we messaged the group to keep everyone posted. Eliza for some reason needed to hear it from me, and I said the same thing, that we got it from here, that I'll keep her posted, but she should go home. She didn't really move though. She just stood there, tearing up, while we grabbed our bags, chargers and so on. I should have checked, but at that point I couldn't deal anymore. I got into our car and waited for my partner. Eliza came to the window and was full on crying. She asked to come with, that it was really important for her. If Jess could be with me, why not she? And so on. I'll admit, I didn't respond kindly. I was anxious and in pain, and it's no excuse. But I shouted at her to leave, to stop being so weird, that it's not about her and so on. There were some swear words in there. My partner just drove off with me. I haven't heard from Eliza since. 3 weeks ago. She hasn't come to see the baby. She doesn't reply in the group chat, and our friends are saying she's incredibly upset with me, saying she can't forgive me. I don't want to mess up our friend group, but I'm at a loss. None of us know why she's behaving this way. The other mum in the group said she was a bit like this when she was pregnant, but not close to the same way she has with me. I feel like she's overstepped, but I also know I shouldn't have screamed at her like I did. Do I just apologize, try and restore the peace? Do I try to talk to her? Do I give her time to come to me? I'm exhausted and just want this to be resolved. So the top commenter said to this one, that's just bizarre behavior. You didn't do anything wrong and you really don't need to be worrying about her right now with a brand new baby. If she can't logic out by herself that it's your choice who's in the room when you're giving birth and she's not a part of it, and that throwing a tantrum as a friend who literally just had a baby, then you're probably better off without her around, to be honest. It sounds like she's going through something, and that sucks for sure, but it's got to be someone else's job to look out for her. You've got enough going on. Opie says, yeah, fair. This behavior is not like her, at least not this extreme. I do wish I knew what was going on with her. Square Minimum says she did overstep. I know we are never supposed to yell at anyone, but she pushed you pretty hard. She wouldn't take no for an answer. It's hard to lose a friend, but in this case, it's just as well. She doesn't sound well balanced. Opie says thank you for this. Aussie Alter Ego says I have no idea what her issue is, but as a random internet stranger, I absolved you of all wrongdoing. You said no, nicely, gently, kindly, and repeatedly. She did not listen. Wanting to push her way into the labor room to be actively involved is way over the line. You were in pain and stressed, and she was trying to bully her way into an intimate moment of extreme vulnerability. You yelled at her because you snapped. She had ignored you being nice about it for months. Opie says thank you for this. My mind has been all over the place. This helps. Blood Rainer says, does she want a baby and kind of projected that onto you? Has she gone for a breakup? Does she feel like she third wheels you and Jess? Just some ideas, not sure. Opie says she does want kids. She's been with her current boyfriend for 6-ish months, so I don't think they're at that step yet. I don't know. Then Opie responds to another comment who says, thank you and everyone for your replies. Seeing it all written out that way helps a lot, to be honest. How silly it may seem. I did need to hear all this. My hormonal, sleep-deprived mind was going all kinds of places. And I'm absolutely with the comments on this one. I don't think you've got anything to apologize at all for. Shouting in that moment where you're literally in labor, I think you get a free pass every single time. Especially when she's trying to make that event all about herself. And the behavior is really concerning, repeatedly ignoring those clear boundaries, trying to insert herself into medical appointments, and then attempting to force her way into delivery. And now she's trying to manipulate people around her about giving OP the silent treatment in this situation. And again, I can't help but agree with the comments. I feel like there's something else there for that kind of behavior. Again, not saying OP should be dealing with it at all, because like again, the comment said, OP's got enough to deal with right now, and I would probably just not focus on Eliza at all and just let that relationship just slide to the one side for now, because there's far too much going on, and I'd wonder how she's going to behave coming back in. Is she going to be overly obsessive about the baby, etc.? But OP did come back in with an update and said, thank you all for the many wonderful replies, reality checks, and supportive private messages. Some were quite extreme though. I do understand and appreciate the concern. Wife, baby, and I are fine. I decided to let Eliza be and focus on my wee little family. She actually messaged me, just kind of asking how baby and I are. Not mentioning anything about what happened. Didn't really sit right with me. Blame the hormones, so I brought it up myself. We had a whole conversation through text, but didn't really get anywhere, though she did kind of apologize. Her reasons kept changing. It all felt like excuses. First she said I had told her she could be more involved. Then it became that she felt we were so close and I hurt her. Then it had to do with Jess. Then she was worried about how my wife was handling it. My wife is wonderful and felt like we needed her support. I immediately corrected her and she didn't mention my wife again, but we just kept going in circles. The conversation was exhausting and I just kind of ended it with that she really crossed the line, but we can try to move past it. She replied something along the lines of that she can't just yet. It's all too painful still. But she'd like to see the baby, but when it's just me and her. I refused, which I struggled with and may make me seem like an absolute bitch. And I said, I don't think it's a good idea just yet. Just want to enjoy my little family and changing sleep schedule. Struggle bus. She said it was fine. She'll wait till there's a group visit and we'll hold on to her gift till then. I still don't really know what's going on with her. I don't know if I ever will. Either way, time to move on, I think, and hope things go back to normal. Though I'll be careful moving forward. Thank you for your support, everyone. I really did need it. First commenter said, holy moly, Eliza is not well. Opie says the odd thing is that with the others she apparently is perfectly fine now. I don't know why she's behaving this way towards me. Just hope it gets better. Another commenter says, is she in love with you? That's how everything read to me, to be honest. Opie says she has a boyfriend, so I don't think so. Commenter says bi and pansexual people exist. Just because we're in a hetero-presenting relationship doesn't mean we are only into opposite sex partners. That said, she is a walking red flag and you are either ignoring it or underestimating the potential for harm. Just because she is normal with others now doesn't mean it's safe for you. I'd go low contact till you can do a group hangout. Leave the baby at home and see how she responds to you. Do this with your eyes fully open and no preconceived notions about her and her behavior, and then go from there. Opie says, I'm sorry, I definitely didn't mean it that way. I just mean she in what I think is a happy relationship with someone else. But you never know what's going on, that's true. I do think for me it doesn't feel like she'd ever intentionally do something to harm me or the baby, though I get what you mean. Either way, her behavior is worrying. Absolutely, and once again, I agree with those comments that I would be taking a step back, especially a request that she doesn't want your partner to be around at the same time. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from What Ifs Forever from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit, and it says, Am I the arsehole here for refusing to close our marriage for the sake of our children? I, 27 male, would say I'm a bit of an awkward guy. I think my outward appearance can be deceiving on that front. I do well in situations where there are well-established rules, like in work and business-related interactions. When it comes to romance, I feel like I fall a little flat. I talk too long about things someone might not care about on a first meeting. I ask too many questions, etc. My wife, 28 female, has been interested in opening our relationship for a while. I was never against the idea, but she continually said she wanted me to try looking as well. I was happy just letting her have her own fun, but she said she only wanted to open things up if I was going out and meeting people too. And I did. Meet someone, that is. He, 31 male, is so everything. He's witty and so smart. He's got this biting sense of humor that I'm genuinely obsessed with. He's quiet and deliberate with his actions, and I'm just really overjoyed with the fact that I finally feel understood by someone. He seems to actually enjoy sex with me. Sex in new, inventive ways that I didn't even consider a possibility 6 months ago. But more than that, he seems to actually enjoy being with me, getting to know me as a person. My wife was having fun. I've gotten a lot of fulfillment out of this and gained a lot of confidence. That's why it was such a shock to me that she came to me and said she wanted to close our marriage again. She said this was a temporary arrangement and she wanted to get serious about having children soon. Every time I think about agreeing to that, it feels like I'm losing something really important. Like I'm shutting down a significant piece of myself. I eventually told her no. I'm not interested in closing our relationship. Now she's accusing me of being selfish and not caring about our future children. Am I the arsehole here? Someone asked OP, how did he know he's attracted to men? OP says, I knew I was attracted to men prior to this, but it wasn't something that I entertained as a real possibility. And then when I started entertaining it, I always saw myself in a different position than the one I'm in now, if that makes sense. I had some preconceived notions that you can't be masculine and bottom, or that you can't be masculine and be taken care of / be the little spoon. I've been proven wrong on many such occasions. Commenter says, what I took away from this is that you don't feel understood by even your wife, and she doesn't like to have sex with you. Pending further information, I would say you guys are not meant for each other. Don't bring kids into it. Amicably separating before having kids is the kindest thing for both of you. Opie says, I don't necessarily think my wife doesn't enjoy sex with me, but I don't come away from it feeling particularly good about myself. So it's not like I'm being berated or told I'm not doing this right, but I'm also not getting much verbal feedback at all. On the other hand, sex with him makes me feel confident. I feel a new appreciation for my body afterwards. Not sure if that's totally bizarre. He verbalizes a lot more than she does. And then this is when I feel weird all over again, because comparing the two of them feels wrong and disrespectful. Commenter replies to that saying, does it feel wrong because it's disrespectful or because you feel like you should feel one way and you don't? It seems to me that you may be feeling like your man is your man, but that you made a promise to your wife and you have to keep that, even though she's becoming less and less your woman. People change and that's okay. even if you were 100% in agreement with having an open relationship. Things changed between the two of you when it started. To me, your words for your man drip with love and appreciation, but you only seem to have a friendly affection for your wife. That's just what I'm reading. I'm not trying to say that's how you feel, just what I see. Opie says I'm not a jealous person at all. I would never have agreed to this arrangement if I was. That being said, there are times when I'm like, damn, I would very much like to make some sort of show of commitment to him that says, this is mine, do not approach to everyone else, which makes me feel a little crazy to be honest. Someone says, is the guy interested in having a relationship with him? Opie says, we've never specifically talked about that. I've been reluctant to. It's nerve-wracking. We've had conversations about how crazy it is that things fell into place when we met. Like, whoa, suddenly, you're one of the most important people in my life. Suddenly I have clothes and a toothbrush in your apartment, and I'm snoozing my alarm to stay in bed with you for a little longer. I've never been that type of person. Life is weird. Opie followed up with their first update and says, the last few days have been really emotionally exhausting. The first question I had to sit with was whether or not I'd be happier in a relationship with my new partner. It was, would I be happier without my wife? I never wanted to go into this conversation with him feeling like this was a one or the other situation. Talking to him without a decision made would feel disingenuous. It would be a dick move to everyone involved. Like if he said no, then I had my wife waiting in the wings. To me, that says neither relationship really mattered to me. I just want to be with someone. In my mind, there were only two options for how things would go when we spoke. I would either be ending things with him for my marriage, or I'd be ending things with my wife. There was no taking a leap of faith and then crawling back to her with my tail between my legs. The conclusion I came to is that I'm just not fulfilled in my marriage. I'm also having these complicated feelings, kind of cycling through anger at her opening our marriage at all and pulling me out of my comfort zone, while also feeling so grateful for what it's taught me. A common theme in the comments on my last post was, once the door has been opened, it can't be closed. And that's true. I can't go back to not knowing how it felt to be understood and listened to. I can't unknow this feeling of trust. So I told her I'm unhappy and that I'm going to be looking into separation options. I had a conversation with my guy and it went really well. I was just open and honest with him about how I feel, that he gives me things I've never had, and that never knew I could have. He said some really sweet things that are just for me and not for the internet. There's no well-rounded end to this story yet. I have a lot more conversations to have. There's also so much more I want to say, so many emotions that I'd like to get down into words, but this is already very long. I just wanted to come on and give a little update for those who were wondering. Commenter said to OP, thanks for the update. I'm glad you took time to reflect, and I'm glad you're not going to close up the marriage and simply be unhappy for the rest of your life. What was your wife's reaction? I always wonder what the partner who asked for this really thinks the outcome will be, when it seems clear from the outside it's always a selfish, I want more attention from other people, that turns into, wait, I'm jealous my partner is getting fulfillment from someone else besides me. Opie says it wasn't a positive reaction. Lots of talking about how I made a commitment to her, and that I was throwing that away for someone else. I just kept reiterating that it wasn't about him, it was about me, how I feel and how she makes me feel. That still hasn't gone through to her. Commenter says, glad to read that you're prioritizing your own feelings and wants. Even gladder to read that you're having/planning a lot of conversations. I keep my fingers crossed for you as you navigate this new chapter. Opie says, thank you. The conversations I've already had felt like perfect encapsulations of both relationships. One made me feel validated and understood. The other made me feel like she was hellbent on misinterpreting what I was saying. I just feel safe with him. Opie then responds to a comment saying that he should discuss his feelings with his wife when she asked to open the relationship, and says, I've never encouraged anyone to attack her. I've answered people's questions about my dynamic with her versus my other partner. I came here looking for advice, but mostly this has been helpful in forcing me to verbalize my thoughts. It's forced me to give words to all things I've been feeling for a while. I also think I don't agree with a lot of the limerent/infatuation crowd. I'm not a relationship hopper. I also don't consider myself polyamorous. I said this in another comment on my original post. It's a concept I was participating in, not something I see as a part of my identity. This is not me getting swept away in some passing fling. It's me realizing I wasn't getting what I needed, and that I like this confident version of myself more. A version that my wife seems to dislike. This is about me, not about him. That's something I've tried to explain to my wife as well. NOP follows up with one more update and says, I feel like this is more of a plea for advice than an actual update. I'm really trying to focus on myself. I'm still having conversations about divorce with my wife. I'm actively speaking to lawyers to start the process. She moved out 6 days ago. I have a lot I need to sort out before I jump into anything else properly. That's the responsible thing to do. But man, it's hard not to be level-headed and responsible right now. I think there was a mental barrier up before. I was giving my guy so much of myself, but was still holding back some because I have a wife. I obviously couldn't go spend weeks at a time at his place because I had someone expecting me at home, but now it's like the dam broke, and I've never felt like this before. He's very much meeting me where I'm at. We've had open and honest conversations about where things are going, and we're on the same page. I'm just having trouble not getting ahead of myself in my head, I think. And I meant what I said in my other comments. I'm not a relationship hopper. I'm not someone who gets caught up in excitement. I'm a pretty slow-paced, logical kind of guy. I really want to get comfortable being myself. That doesn't mean I'm ending things with him. Not at all. It means I want to have a normal dating period. One where I'm not in some weird poly situation. But in my opinion, normal dating is a lot less intense than, oh, this is what being in love actually feels like, and I want to build a life with you ASAP. I need to get a grip is the point. Any ideas how to do that? The commenter said to OP on the back of that one, if he really is the one, then he should be understanding of the fact that you're still working through not just the divorce, but also the feelings you're going through while detaching yourself from the life that you and your soon-to-be ex were building together. Just because the relationship ended up going sideways and you're confident in your path forward, that doesn't magically make what you're going through any easier. You said it yourself. Take your time, figure out who you are post-divorce, and the two of you can ease your way into this new relationship. Opie says he's being really understanding. This is more just me wrestling with the knowledge that I need to take things slow versus not really wanting to. I'm usually fine on my own, and I am fine, but I feel this pull towards him that I've never experienced in any other relationship. It's this nagging feeling in the back of my head where, even if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I know I would enjoy doing it with him even more. I don't know. I didn't expect my feelings for him to change as a result of my marriage ending. This is new for me. Commenter says communication is the #1 thing you can do. However, I feel like you're way too hard on yourself. There's no set time you need to wait to have feelings or give your all to a relationship. Your marriage was not the best, and it's normal that you emotionally checked out of it a long time ago. OP said, I appreciate this. Being with him has helped me learn a lot about how much I value communication and how good it feels. I felt like there was so much guesswork in my marriage. Looking back, I always felt like I was scrambling to sort through like social cues/facial expressions or sighs to figure out what she wanted from me. And I wasn't innocent in it either because I followed her lead in that regard. So being with him where he talks so freely is so refreshing. It makes my brain feel good. It feels so easy. I always felt like I said too much, but now I'm just confused why everyone doesn't talk like this. Another commenter says, talk to him. Say all this to him and see if he has any ideas. Communication. Best of luck. And OP says, I'm nervous because some of what I want to say feels like very inside thoughts. Some of it is very conflicting too. It's like, oh, I'm just thinking about peaceful married life with him because that's what's in my comfort zone. Versus, but my marriage wasn't very comfortable or peaceful. I'm being very honest with him while also trying to sort out some of the push and pull. But you're right. I don't think he'd be upset at me for any of it. He'd probably say something very wise and insightful and help me figure it out. And the last commenter says, honestly, I think you need to speak to a therapist. An unrelated, unbiased third party. As much as your new guy is great at communicating and meeting you where you are at, it doesn't change the fact that he has a vested interest in the outcome. You need to figure out if these feelings you have for him are genuinely for him or if they are related to discovering a new side of yourself you never knew existed. Talking to someone impartial who has the skills and tools to help you navigate this new direction in your life is imperative. Just my 2 cents. And that was OP's last update on the matter. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. Truly is absolutely amazing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.